Some families find the word hospice really, really scary. And I think when we visit for that first time, there's so much more things that we can say about the hospice. It's not about end of life, it's not about dying, it's about living and it's about enjoying life and actually giving these children and young people quality of life. So some children and young people are unable to leave their own homes. Sometimes their condition may be that they can't leave the home, there's not any practical, they can't physically leave home. So having someone go into the home for them and so they haven't got to leave is really valuable for them. Some children and young adults don't like to go to hospital. So having someone to come into the home to do that for them is really, really helpful. The hospice community team are really a spoke in a lot of children and young people's care. We work so closely with other teams. So local community teams, social care teams, psychologists, there's so many areas that a child or young person is being cared for, and we're just a part of that. And I think being able to collaborate with those professionals is a really important part of our role to give the best possible care that we can give for these families. Some families, they'll always have a care package or nurses in the home if they want it. The family we've been looking after recently, they haven't wanted it. They wanted to do it all themselves, and they did. And they did it. They did it for him. They did it for themselves. But they knew they had someone to call. The specialist palliative care teams have a 24/7 telephone service, and then obviously that's another benefit of the hospice community team. We have a 24/7 in-person visit should it be needed. The more you get to know a family and the more times you visit, the stronger that trust does become. Especially if you're visiting a child at end of life and you're in there 2 to 3 times a week, seeing the family, understanding their way of life, I think, is something really, really valuable. It's different to coming into the hospice. It's, the family come into the hospice, they are that person. But when you're in their own home, you get to know them and you get to understand their way of life. Their extended family that visit, they become part of the family, especially if you're visiting regularly. And yeah, it's just a really valuable chance to be part of that family. And I think there's things that you do that you don't really realise. The way you talk to a family, the way you touch someone on, the way you discuss things. It's so hard to put into words, really.